Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Young and the Restless channel. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe and hit like for more daily drama updates and spoilers. Your support truly means a lot and helps our channel grow every day. Now, let's jump straight into today's exciting update. The next 3 weeks on The Young and the Restless, from June 22nd through July 10th, are shaping up to deliver a storm of heartbreak, danger, and emotional upheaval as long-buried fears and dangerous obsessions begin to rise to the surface. At the center of the chaos is Patty Williams, whose fragile grip on control seems destined to slip in a way that could change everything. While elsewhere, Sally Spectra and Sharon Newman find themselves facing deeply unsettling turns of their own. What begins as a week of uneasy flirtation and subtle provocation quickly unfolds into something far more explosive, with relationships tested, loyalties questioned, and secrets threatening to break open at the worst possible moment. During the week of June 22nd through June 26th, Matt Clark makes a bold move by asking Phyllis Summers out, opening the door to a connection that already feels complicated before it has even had a chance to begin. At the same time, Noah Newman decides to put Matt to the test, deliberately needling him and trying to provoke a reaction, as if he senses that beneath Matt's calm exterior, there may still be something volatile waiting to erupt. That tension alone would be enough to keep the atmosphere charged. But there's more brewing in Genoa City, especially with Lauren Koslow temporarily stepping into the role of Jill Abbott, beginning June 25th, a return that comes at a crucial time for the Abbott family. Billy Abbott soon finds himself sitting down with Jill, and the conversation carries major weight as he gives his thoughts on Jack Abbott's latest grand plan. Jack, however, is already moving forward on a dangerous path of his own. After questioning Dr. Lawrence Markham and pushing for answers, Jack teams up with Kyle Abbott, who takes matters into his own hands by secretly tailing the doctor back to his home. Father and son, united by desperation and fear for Diane Jenkins Abbott, begin plotting their next move with the kind of urgency that only comes when someone you love may be slipping further out of reach. Jack's mind turns toward one risky possibility after another, and before long, he's determined to get Dr. Markham out of the house again, so he and Kyle might have the chance to sneak inside and rescue Diane. But there's one terrifying complication hanging over the entire plan like a dark cloud: Patty. To pull this off, Jack and Kyle may have to deceive her, manipulate her, and outmaneuver a woman who has never been predictable and has always been capable of turning dangerous in an instant. And that is exactly what makes this scheme so frightening. Because Patty is not just unstable, she is a wild card with a history of spiraling when pushed too far. While the Abbott family braces for one crisis, the Newman family is hit with a devastating blow of its own. Nikki Newman learns that the brain mass pressing against her optic nerve may leave her blind. And the terrifying truth is that even surgery may not guarantee that her sight can be saved. It is the kind of diagnosis that shatters the air in the room, the kind that makes the future suddenly feel fragile and unfamiliar. Nikki, proud and fiercely guarded even in her pain, tries to keep Victor Newman at arm's length, perhaps believing that distance will somehow help her hold on to her dignity through the fear. But Victor is not the kind of man who stays in the dark for long, especially when it comes to Nikki, and he soon learns the truth about her condition, despite her efforts to shut him out. The emotional weight of that revelation is heavy enough, but the pain ripples outward as Nick Newman may soon be forced to confront this devastating news as well, just as he is on the verge of facing more temptation involving drugs. For Nick, that combination of family crisis and personal vulnerability could be a dangerous one. And the timing couldn't be worse, as his mother's health battle casts a shadow over everything. As the story moves into the week of June 29th through July 3rd, the cracks in Billy and Sally's relationship begin to widen in ways that are impossible to ignore. Sally starts to sense that Billy is slipping back into old patterns, and the promise he made to let Chancellor go and focus instead on their future and their family suddenly feels far less solid than it once did. The warning signs begin to flash when Billy makes a power play, one that suggests he may not be ready to walk away from ambition, control, or unfinished business after all. For Sally, the realization lands with a mix of disappointment, worry, and that sinking feeling that she may be watching the man she loves drift toward a choice that could cost them everything. The question then becomes whether she'll take those concerns straight to Jill, hoping that Billy's mother might be the one person capable of reaching him before things spiral. Yet even that path is uncertain, because there's every chance Jill could shock everyone by siding with Billy this time instead of standing against him. Whatever happens, one thing becomes clear. Billy's latest threat won't go unanswered, and both Lily Winters and Kane Ashby will be forced to stand their ground against whatever move he's making. At the same time, Nikki's private battle continues to deepen, and the emotional walls she has built around herself begin to show signs of strain. At first, she may refuse to let Victor comfort her, resisting the pull back toward him because she doesn't want pity or sympathy to become the reason for any reunion between them. Nikki has always been strong-willed, and in a moment like this, that stubbornness becomes both her armor and her burden. She doesn't want to be seen as vulnerable, and she certainly doesn't want Victor's concern to rewrite the terms of their relationship before she's ready. But there's only so much fear a person can carry alone, and this is no small battle she's facing. As the reality of the surgery draws closer, Nikki may finally begin to bend under the weight of what's ahead, because the possibility of waking up without her sight is not just frightening, it is life-altering. A follow-up doctor's appointment could ultimately push her towards scheduling the procedure to remove the mass. But even as she takes that brave step, the terror of what might happen afterward will stay with her, haunting every decision and every quiet moment. Then, as the week of July 6th through July 10th unfolds, the emotional fallout begins to draw unexpected people closer together. Kyle and Victoria Newman may find themselves reconnecting as they once again worry about the parents at the center of their lives. And shared fear has a way of opening doors that pride and distance often keep shut. Victoria, carrying the burden of Nikki's condition and the uncertainty surrounding her mother's future, may confide in Kyle more deeply than she expected to. And to her surprise, Kyle's support could bring her a kind of comfort she didn't realize she needed, a calm presence in the middle of a storm that seems to be gathering strength by the day. Meanwhile, Matt and Phyllis continue growing closer as well, their connection strengthening in a way that feels exciting and dangerous all at once. There's chemistry there, and perhaps even the promise of something meaningful. But not everyone will be willing to watch this romance bloom without raising the alarm. Nick certainly won't approve, and Sharon Newman will be even more direct, warning Phyllis that falling for Matt could be a terrible mistake because the monstrous version of him may still be lurking beneath the surface, waiting for the right moment to return. And then there is Patty, the ticking time bomb at the center of one of Genoa City's most volatile stories. If she starts to realize that her dreams of marrying Jack are never going to come true, there's every reason to believe she could completely unravel. Patty likes to present herself as someone who has changed, someone who has healed, someone who is no longer the woman people once feared. But the illusion of rehabilitation can only hold for so long when obsession, rejection, and desperation start colliding all at once. If Jack succeeds in rescuing Diane, that moment alone could be enough to shove Patty straight over the edge, pushing her into a full emotional collapse with terrifying consequences for everyone around her. And the danger won't stop there, because Diane isn't expected to stay quiet or passive for long. Down the road, she'll strike back against Patty, setting the stage for a fierce and deeply personal clash between two women whose rivalry is heading toward total war. By the time all of this finally explodes, The Young and the Restless won't just be serving up drama. It will be unleashing full-blown mayhem, with heartbreak, revenge, obsession, and emotional devastation colliding in a way that promises viewers they won't want to miss a second of what comes next.